All right, guys. So we have the pleasure now of interviewing Robert Tarango. I don't want to take the light from him, but I'll turn it over to him. But he's just been here. I think he just cracked his. This your second month, Robert?
Yeah. So I'm about to start my third month.
So you're 60 days in, basically.
Yeah. 60 days in.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so for the people on here that don't know you yet, I'm sure they've seen you on our Zoom calls and everything, because you're always on there unmuting and everything. But just tell them a little bit about what you were doing before and what your experience has been so far the last 60 days. I mean, you're brand new, dude. 60 days, and you've done the volume you've done is pretty impressive, especially all over the phone. Some say, selling life insurance over the phone is a little bit harder than in person. I kind of agree. But you found quick success here. And then tell the guys a little bit about what how you found success and what you were doing before.
So before I started with FFL, I was working retail, like a regular 9 to 5. I mean, I didn't even have like a 9 to 5 schedule. It was kind of all over the place. My girlfriend is the one who actually found FFL, kind of challenged me to take the test. I was never really about it at first. I said, no, there's no way this is real. This is pyramid scheme, what anybody else wants to call it. So my girlfriend told me, I don't think you can actually pass the test. So me just being a competitive person, I said, okay, well, let's book the test and then see what this is about. So we booked the test. And then I literally, as soon as we did the whole thing, I book it for a week. So I gave myself a week to actually finish it and do the test. I've actually had the test before her. So I did that, passed the job I was working at. As soon as I passed, I said, this is it. Just put my 2 weeks in. I had actually got tested for COVID. They were giving me all this drag back and forth. I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to go all in and then see what this is about. And I kind of feel like that's the type of person I am, is I just can't have one foot in. I got to be like 10 toes down when I actually try doing something. So that's how it all started. I was in contact with Moises before. And I mean, even before I even like passed, I was watching like just countless hours of YouTube videos. Next thing you know, my girlfriend was telling me like, man, you really watching videos. It's got your interest. And I'm like, yeah, I think this is something that, we could really do. So, and I was hopping on calls before I was even licensed. And though I always tell the stories, I remember watching battles. I think it was like his first month in, and I was like, yo, this is going to be hard. Like this really might be hard. And I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, and I was watching him and he was going through it like his first month. And I'm like, dude, do I really want to do this right now? And then now I'm just like, dude, look at him. And then now, like, obviously some of the success that I've had, it's just kind of just shows you like that commitment, you showing up every day kind of just goes hand in hand.
Yeah. You probably realize too, right? Like there's nobody here that's special. It's just hard work, dude. And that's, one thing I've noticed about you battles, right? You guys are constantly putting in the work, man. So you guys never like put the phone down. You guys are on the phone nonstop, which I think is awesome, right? So like, talk about a little bit about that, what those videos did for you, man. Because I know I can personally say I kind of stopped watching so many videos. I used to watch a ton every single day, all day. And you kind of just reminded me right now that, dude, I need to go back to the videos. I need to go back to training every single day, right? Because I think no matter how long you've been in this business, you have to train every single day to have success and to keep your head right too. Like you can get to a point as a veteran or 2 years, 3 years down the road, and you can like kind of think you know it all. But it's like at the end of the day, I think everybody needs to be training every single day. If you're not watching at least one YouTube video to better yourself, I mean, you're probably falling a little bit behind. So talk about what that did for you.
I felt like he just kind of gave me like an approach already to kind of what to expect, but then not obviously, because you're never going to know what you expect, especially when you're hopping on the phone call your first time. But I kind of just got like a structure or just of like how they explained of how this business works, of what you have to do, the hours you have to put in. So I was kind of already in my head was like, all right, dude, like everyone on YouTube videos is you put in the work, you're going to end up getting good. There's nothing, everyone says there's no one that's over talented than anybody. It's the hours that you put in, the more confidence you get. So I just felt like just me kind of already having an understanding of it. It kind of gave me like a little like, okay, I'm not as, like you say, it's not scared wise, but I wasn't just going in there like not knowing anything. And I felt like I need to kind of go back to watching videos now, because now when you start watching those videos, those things that you didn't catch at first, now you're kind of catching them. Like, oh, I remember that. Like, let me try using that now.
Yeah.
Or just like even live dials, like picking up. I use stuff from Battles. I use stuff from Marcus. I mean,
yeah.
John,
I see you, man. You implement
he's
everything. Like, you listen to something and you implement it right away. Like, you don't play around. So, like, I think that's huge, and especially when you're brand new, because you got to know what, you got to try it all out and kind of figure out what works for you the best. Shoot, I was gonna ask you something else. So tell the people, the new people here, you're in your first 60 days. I know like some people call themselves like full time, right? They say, "Oh, I'm full time," but like in reality, like what's your full time, right? What's Robert Tarango's schedule Monday through Saturday? Because I know you're on here Monday through Saturday. You haven't skipped a day since you've been here. You've been all about it. What time do you wake up? What time do you take a break? What time do you do like whatever you're go to the gym? Talk about your schedule, and be super straight up about it too.
I'm usually trying to be up by like 5:30 latest. I noticed that if you have any of the carriers that you need to call, is to like knock those out first thing in the morning because they're obviously in the East Coast. So if you can knock that out, that could usually take anywhere from an hour, depending on which carriers or how many carriers you got to call.
Yeah, you're talking about the back end stuff, right? Like following up on your policies, making sure you're getting paid on stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And then just after that, I'm trying to be on the phones by like 6:30 no latest, because I'm working East Coast. When I get a break, I try to get a break in. I mean, I know it's kind of hard to, but you definitely need to take that break. Don't let yourself get beat up.
Yeah. What time do you take a break? Like lunch? I mean, do you take
I'll take like a lunch
break? You take
like
an
a lunch
hour break?
And that's just kind of like to eat, kind of maybe take like a little walk or something, kind of clear your mind if I'm getting beat up on the phones, because you definitely don't want to carry that on with you to your next client, which I've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Gotten beat up and then tried to just get back at the next person, and then now I'm just getting beat up even more. So like take a break around lunch, try to get to the gym as when I can, and then just get back and then kind of reflect on what the calls that you've already done and see where you've kind of lost something, where you could have done something better. Because I feel like if you're just consistently, you got to sit back and understand why you didn't close this person or mess up or re-listen to a phone call that you just did.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Where did my pitch change?
I'm glad you brought that up. So I don't mean to interrupt you, but I feel like I need to like announce this. So guys, if you guys aren't using Ringy has so many like amazing tools. It is a glorified Go High level. So if you guys are familiar with those, it's helped me out tremendously. I know the guys here at the office that are using it, Alex Godinez, he's been like majorly stepping it up, and it's all been through the organization through Ringy. And what's awesome about Ringy, guys, there's an option on there. Every single time you hop on the phone, there's a record button. And I leave it on at all times. So like I can always go back to all my phone calls, all my successful and unsuccessful calls. You can go back and listen to what you said, what the client said, and you can really do like Robert's saying, really listen to what happened or how you lost the client or where you lost the client. And I think it's very critical for everybody that's trying to get better to be able to listen to their phone calls, especially if you're doing telesales, guys, because in reality, telesales is harder to sell policies over the phone. You don't have Bob and Mary, belly to belly, where you can go tell them what to do and stuff and overcome rebuttals. But one huge thing about Ringy, guys, you can listen to all your phone calls. And I think it's huge if you guys have that option. If you guys aren't using Ringy, it's like, I don't know what to tell you guys, but it's like you're literally, I think you're costing yourself a lot of money by not having that to your access. But yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Robert.
Oh, no, you're good, man. Like I said, just kind of see where you kind of messed up. Like you said, listen to your re-recordings. I think that's big, is to kind of, because you'll notice when your voice is kind of changed and you're like, damn, all right, I kind of sound nervous or I didn't sound like confident. And obviously the clients are going to hear that. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. So yeah, I guess I don't want to put you on blast here, but I know you're just in your 60 days, but now kind of knowing what you know now with the opportunity here in this industry, what are your goals for the next the rest of the year? I mean, do you have any set goals that you have for yourself? So I know you in the beginning when I first met you, you wrote down a bunch of goals and you already smacked a couple of them. So what's Robert Tarango's new goals for the rest of the year?
I think I want to just start actually getting to that building the team wise. I think because I've never been like that type of person to like post on social media, never really done much of that. So just to maybe kind of show this to other people that could actually really benefit from it. Cause like I said, I had no idea of this.
Yeah.
That's
like sharing the opportunity, right? Like,
sharing that opportunity, start kind of helping people out and maybe just start recruiting, start getting some legs under me and start trying to build this and build a team.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're thinking that way too. Because in the beginning too, I didn't want to recruit anybody, and at the end of the day, I forget who it was. I think it might have been Jordan Lowry or somebody was like, "Dude, you're being selfish," by not sharing this opportunity to somebody else. Who are you to decide whether or not they're going to be good at what we do, right? Only because they make good money or they have a good job, right? And then you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to bring it up to them because, they're going to probably like, laugh at me or something, right? But at the end of the day, guys, if you guys aren't sharing the opportunity to somebody, like, who are you to decide whether or not like your neighbor, your best friend from high school, your college buddy is not going to come in here and just smack it like Tarango is not going to come in here and smack it like other people that have found really good success, fast success. And it's at the end of the day, guys, we need to be very vocal about this. And I almost want to say, like, I don't like saying the word recruiting. I almost feel like it's got like this bad connotation to it. It's like, I just want to say, like, I want to just kind of reframe our vocab to just like, hey, let's share this opportunity. Like, I don't even want to say recruiting anymore. I don't know about you guys, but it just sounds kind of bad. But share the opportunity with as many people as you can. On social media, it's the easiest way, guys, to like get traction. I've literally probably built my whole thing, the little agency that we've built together, all off Instagram. Like, I haven't really like spent money like outside of that on Indeed or anything like that. So you can definitely get a lot of progress just simply by sharing the opportunity on your Facebook, on your Instagram, like getting a little uncomfortable and like reposting stuff, making little videos too, guys. That's an easy free way of like getting out there. And you never know who you might inspire. You might inspire your neighbor, your like I said, friend from college, old coworker. I know Marcus has a bunch of people coming on board that used to work with them. They used to be arborists as well, right? They've been watching his stories. People get inspired, guys, and especially like you might not think so, but people are watching you. When you post everything, you might like not get enough likes. You might not get like all this love on your Instagram, but people are watching at all times. So it's like share everything, And then another thing too that I learned is share other people's stuff. Don't just share your stuff, right? Like nobody really wants them to see what you're doing, right? They want to see how you're helping others do, better, if that makes sense. And do we have Mr. Hey, thanks for hopping on board, Durango. You're crushing it, dude. Keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring a lot of people here, especially all the new people that are starting. Just put the activity in and good things will happen. Do we have Tristan back or no?
Let me just say one more other thing, Moises, before I go. Yeah. To like all the new people, like literally listen to people on live dials, listen to battles, listen to Marcus, listen to people that are doing really good. Listen to stuff that you think you'd want to say, but you don't want to say it. Like an objection, you're thinking like, dang, I should have said that, or I should use this into it. Try it. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're either going to get better or now you can really start implementing to your whatever until you're closing. Like it's literally, what you want to say, just go on and say it. Because the worst is going to say is you're going to learn from it or it's going to work for you. And then now you can really use it. Yeah. And that's what I picked up from battles. I picked up from you, Moises, from Gage, listening to Gage and just some of those questions. Yeah, it's like I would never say it or never thought about saying it. Once I did, I'm like, dang, this works. And if it didn't work, it wasn't me. Because that would just didn't fit me. But if obviously when it comes to objections and stuff like that, you want to say something, just try it and say it. Regardless from it, you're going to learn or it's going to work for you. And then now you're able to implement it and become better.
Dude, hell yeah. Thanks for that, dude.
Yep.
All right, Mr. TB, are you on there?
Yes, sir.
Hells yeah, brother. All right, guys. So you guys have seen Tristan on the leaderboards. I know you guys have seen him at our daily booms. He lights it up on there. For those of you guys that don't really know him, I'm going to give him like a few minutes to introduce himself and kind of tell you guys what he did before. And then we're going to go over some training towards the end of it, okay? Let me see real quick. I can't see you. Whoops. Hold on, there you are, bro. Let me put a pin on your icon there. There you are. Can everybody see him? Cool. All right, Mr. TV. Everybody's excited, man. Everybody wants to know the the juice here. So tell everybody about what you were doing before, man. Some of you guys, some people on here know your story a little bit. Tell everybody what you were doing the last couple of years, I guess, and where you came from and what you've been doing now.
For sure, man. So I was in healthcare, more so Medicare. So same market, but you know, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. So I was doing Medicare sales, just straight. Sorry about that. Doing Medicare sales, just straight telesales. I was getting live transfers to my phone. Pay was reflecting that. So I was working with this type of market already. And I did that for about a year and a half. Figured out that life was a lot more enjoyable, a lot more profitable. So decided to give it a try when I reached out to Marcus.
Yeah, so a whole different structure, guys. So Tristan, you were getting free leads, right?
Yeah, they were live transfers. I mean, as soon as you clicked like online on the dashboard, you would be getting calls from, I had 48 states and health. So I was just getting fed live transfers.
Cool. So you just so what drew you to, I guess, to life insurance? I mean, was it the money that kind of drew your attention? Because I know you were getting free leads over there, but the comp and the structure that you were making over there wasn't close to what you're making now, right?
Not even close. I mean, the book of business wasn't my own, so I was making decent money, but it was literally, I'll throw some numbers at it. Like during open enrollment, it was like $75 per application submitted, and then during the slower seasons, it was like $125 per application. And in all honesty, the sales took just as long as a live sale.
Damn. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, we're definitely glad that you're on our team because you're absolutely crushing it, dude. Yeah, we're definitely glad to have you on the team. So I guess for, half the enhanced team does telesales and then the other half does in-home still. You coming from experience, when you came over here from the health side, did you notice that there was like similarities as far as the clients that we deal with? Are they pretty much the same client, or are they a little bit different? Or because I know with the health, right? Like it's a little different setup. You're not really like selling it to them. You're kind of enrolling them, right? So talk about that.
Yeah. Sure. So Medicare, they're already paying like $167. It comes out of their Social Security check before they don't even see it come out. It just comes out automatically. So you are quote unquote selling, but it's more so transferring plans if they have better benefits. So meanwhile, they're not really having to pay a whole lot unless it's a Medicare supplement. So yes, it was the same clientele, but it was a little easier process because you're basically switching from one plan to another, and they're not seeing the money come out, and they're paying that regardless. So if you can put them in a better position, it was easier to make a sale, I would say. It is a little harder with the live side, but it is a lot, like we said, compensation structure is so much better with live.
A little more lucrative, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing too. So everybody wants to know this. I personally want to know this as well. So you're doing a great job building the need because your premiums are a little bit higher than normal, right? So talk about like how you set the table. I guess role play with me. How do you like set it all up in the beginning? How do you build that big need where you're getting people to think, bigger, right? Because I know we mentioned earlier on a previous call, you'd make a couple references to the regular bills they pay. So I want you to kind of go over that with everybody on here. Like, how do you use examples? If you ever get pushback too, if you're hitting people with big premiums, right? Because we're selling to final expense people, right? So talk about that. How do you set the table when you first call a client? How do you break down their budget if you do? I mean, what's the process like with all that?
So I need to get better at doing the financial needs inventory, but I make them remember when they first filled out that form. So if, depending on the lead source that I'm getting them from, sometimes it'll have the amount that they requested, the beneficiary. So from the beginning, I talk about what made them fill out the form. I bring them back to when they were first, filling out these 13 prompts. I go for the higher intent leads, and if they're not higher intent, I do try to just bring them back to their initial thought in filling out that form. So you have to kind of emotionally charge it and ask them hard questions. Ask them, your beneficiary here, if you decide not to get enough money, will they have $5,000 to come out of pocket upon your passing. It's like, yes, you won't have to worry about it, but I know that you're a good person. You were looking at this to put them in a better position when you pass. I mean, what's going to happen if you don't do this? If they give me pushbacks about money and about their bills, I will try to kind of put it in perspective.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but you said something that I just caught my attention right now. So you said, "Hey, I know you're a good person." So you say that to clients.
Yeah, you
dude,
make it feel
huge.
good.
I hope you guys wrote that down, dude. That's like a very emotional thing. People always want to be a good person. So when you say stuff like that, it makes probably trigger something in them too. So that's awesome that you brought that up. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. So I do bring up the bills quite often if they give me pushbacks about price. Obviously, I'm not going to push them towards something they just physically can't afford. But when you're bringing up life and policies and bills and things like that, it's like, all right, so how many times do you go out to eat each week? And if they say, oh, we eat from home, blah, 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 blah. So it's, then you bring up car insurance, you bring up if they're a smoker, how much you're spending on cigarettes. It's like bringing up their daily lives and seeing where you can find money for them to save in their daily budget for them to be able to take care of their family upon their passing. No in particular, I guess statement I say, it's just really it's per client, really. It really has to do with what kind of person they are, their energy, just everything in between.
Dude, that's awesome. So I guess let's role play a little bit too. So like just take it from the top. I mean, so how long are your conversations? Are you spending like 30, 40 minutes on the phone, or you spend a little longer building rapport? I mean, what's that look like for you? Because I know like
building rapport is big. I would say average is about 45 minutes. Some on the lower side, probably 30, 35 minutes, and then upwards of an hour and a half sometimes. And sometimes you'll get 45 minutes into a conversation and they're not ready to do it. Doesn't matter what you tell them, doesn't matter how much you emotionally charge your questions, statements. Sometimes they're just not ready. And they get a big old circle in my notebook, and reach back out in 1 week, or I keep detailed notes about all my clients. So another thing I'll always preach is follow-up is key, especially when it comes to the high intent leads, because at one point they were ready to pull a trigger. And if you can find a price that works for them and an amount that works for them, they will do it. So I always keep that in mind, that it's something, it's not you, it's not the money, it's something holding them back. And if you figure out what that is and you can make it make sense for them, bring them back to that initial need that they had, then you should be able to protect the family every time.
Dude, that's awesome. So yeah, let's do some role play. Okay, so I'm Bob, right? I'm looking for like 20,000 in coverage. Like, what's the conversation like with Tristan? I mean, how do you start it all up and everything?
My iPad is on like 2%. Let me grab my charger real quick. Yeah, that was a really good radio voice. Whoever just did that.
What's cracking?
Yeah, somebody did a good one right there. No, I thought I was gonna call on you just while we're waiting on Tristan, but
he's back.
Sorry.
He's back.
I finally got it back. All right, we're back. All right, so what was it back?
All right, cool. So hey, I'm Bob, and then I'm looking for 20,000 in coverage, and I filled out a form. You're calling me.
Okay. Hey, Bob, how are you doing today, man?
Hey, good. Who's this?
My name is Tristan Bennett, and I'm the state licensed underwriter and insurance broker that was assigned to help get you some information on this coverage you requested.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, sir. So I had you listed as $20,000 for a beneficiary of Moise S. Jr. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, that was me.
Awesome, man. So beneficiary, I'm assuming that's your son. How old is he?
He's actually 22.
22. Awesome. Is he just finished school, or is he in trade school, or what's going on with that?
Oh yeah, no, we skipped college, man. I put him straight to trade school, and he's in a entrepreneurship class.
Awesome,
University.
man. Awesome. Yeah, entrepreneurship university. Yeah, that's actually a good decision. The trades are going to be winded up being a lot more valuable than those piece of papers they hand out at colleges. I can tell you that. So,
exactly.
I want to kind of understand what has you looking for this coverage. What do you want it to do for you? Do you want it to cover your final expenses, leave money for a beneficiary, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both, if I can afford it, I just didn't know how they work. So I figured I'd give it a shot and start looking into this, I'm just shopping around though, I'm just looking for quotes.
Absolutely, man. And I'll be more than happy to help you look for some numbers and run some numbers with you. Also make it make sense. And I'll tell you a little bit about what we do. So I'm with a brokerage called Family First Life, and we are contracted with about 33 different companies in Texas. So what we're going to do is put your information into a quoting tool. And by doing that, we'll get the best rates across the marketplace. I like to say we'll do a little bit of shopping around for you. And if we find, some numbers that make sense and an amount that can protect your family, we will certainly do so, man. So are you married?
Yes.
Awesome. What's your wife's name?
Vivi.
Okay. And beneficiary, are you is just one son, or do you have multiple kids or grandkids?
Just
or
one for now.
Okay. Any grandkids yet?
No grandkids yet, man.
Okay. Awesome. So with that being said, what did you want to do with this? Well, not you, but what did you want this money to do for your beneficiary?
Well, I just wanted to make sure, if I passed away, that it's not falling on him. He's not having to scramble around trying to find the money to marry me or send me off.
Yeah, having to come out of pocket, putting them in a financial bad spot. So with that being said, do you have a mortgage? Do you have loans, debts to be paid off, or is it mainly majority for final expenses?
Yeah, so just final expenses, man. Yeah, I rent right now. I don't have a mortgage, so just mostly final expenses. Okay.
So it would put them in a bad spot, your beneficiary, if you were to, pass unexpectedly, and they would have to cover funerals and things like that.
Oh yeah, dude, it would ruin him. He's like not in a position to come out of pocket right now like that.
Absolutely. So I understand why you're looking into this today, and I'm glad that you are looking into it. It says a lot about your character, speaks volumes about, your family dynamics and things like that. So I would like to run some numbers for you, see what makes sense. If you're looking at burial, it's approximately $15,000. If you're looking at cremation, it is a little cheaper. So did you have a specific way you wanted to be, buried or cremated, or is it still up in the air?
Honestly, it's up in the air. I'd rather go the cheaper route and leave more money behind if possible.
Okay.
So, yeah, cremation's fine.
Okay. So yeah, cremation is definitely the way to go. And if you're looking to save money, if you don't really, once you pass, your soul's gone. So if you just want to be cremated and leave money for Moises Jr., that is definitely the way to go if you want to leave more money behind. So I will start you at $20,000. We'll ask you a few simple health questions, see which carriers are going to give you the best rates, and then we can move right ahead. Run any number you'd like, and then we'll get you medically qualified today, even if we set the draft date for a month out. The important part is getting you medically qualified. Once we do that, you can increase your coverage at any time, really, up to a certain amount of time. And but we do want to put something minimal in place. God forbid you pass, unexpectedly or soon. And another good thing is that the sooner we get you qualified, the less money you'll wind up spending in the long run. So let's get you squared away and go ahead and ask health questions. You already have the why. You've already kind of, like John said, struck the ego a little bit. And from then on, it's like if you can make it make sense for them, if they're giving you objections, things like that, you talk about their budget a little bit, you talk about ways to save money, and you go down with a little lower amount and say, all right, well, let's at least get the minimal coverage in place. That way, when we're done, we have something in place to where it won't be a total devastating blow to your family. And then you call them in 6 months for their semi-annual review and ask if they're in a better position to increase their coverage.
Dope. Okay, so you're doing that follow-up. Okay, that's awesome, dude. So I guess this is kind of a particular situation. So say you're getting a client that he's in his 50s, right? And I guess so how do you go with the medical questions? Do you go off of the script that you made, or what questions are you asking? What are the main ones, I guess? Yeah.
So main questions are, all right, so let's dive into these health questions. Have you had anything major happen in the past 2 years, like cancer, heart attack, stroke, anything like that?
No.
All right. Good news. So let's see, anything minor, smaller stuff like diabetes, high blood pressure, or cholesterol?
No, nothing yet. Hopefully it stays that way.
Gotcha. Anything respiratory like COPD, emphysema, or asthma?
Negative.
All right, man, making my job easy. So let me ask you just a few more things. Any kidney or liver diseases?
No.
All right. Any history or family history of depression, anxiety, anything like that?
No. So you say family history. Okay, cool. No, nothing like that.
All right. Awesome, man. I see no reason why you shouldn't get some level coverage today. No waiting periods. So let me ask you this last question, and then we'll move on to prescriptions. Have you had any surgeries in the past 5 to 10 years?
No.
All right, man. So it looks like you're pretty clean as a whistle. So let me ask, are you taking any prescriptions right now?
No, none.
All right. Gotcha, man. So with the info we have in the quoting tool right now, let's run some numbers and see what makes the most sense.
Cool. So when you say that, so I guess the more direct question was, so are you always leading with the whole life, but it's to say they're in their 50s and they're kind of like younger, are you going to lead with a term? And do you get into that at all?
Yeah. So that's why I asked them from the beginning the amount that they want. If they're younger, obviously, I'll let them know the downfalls and the perks to term. It's like, all right, so we can get you a higher amount. And that's where the mortgage question comes in. That's where like the loans and debts come in. That's why I'm asking, what do you want this for? It's kind of letting them tell you what they want. And then you're kind of working with them to decide whether or not they should get a whole life or a term. Obviously, if they have a mortgage, if they have cars to pay off, if they have $10,000 in credit card debt, then you probably want to do a term if they're healthy, relatively healthy. And you could do return of premium. You could do, if they're 50, they qualify for 30 years still, I believe. So you get that from the beginning in the quoting tool. And you kind of ask them, I have 20,000 here, but what was it actually for? Is it just for final expenses? Is it to cover a mortgage? Is it to cover the car note? Is it, you have to ask them what the beneficiary will be using it for.
Yeah, and those are all great questions too, to build the need, right? Because like sometimes they'll see an ad, right? Or they'll go on there and they'll see, okay, burial insurance, but then I'm like, oh shoot, I have a mortgage. Oh shoot, I do have a car note. Oh, whatever it is, and now you're building that whole need with getting to think bigger, right? Thinking of like a higher amounts. Okay, that's awesome. So walk us through. I guess this is like for the telesales people. The new people that struggle with this, usually the social is pretty easy to get, right? So talk about like how you get to social. Is it the same way every single time? Do you have like a sequence of questions you ask up until then? And then I'm going to have you just kind of go over how you get the banking at the end and how you kind of seal it up and everything, okay?
Sure. Yeah, social is probably the hardest to get. So, it kind of does switch between clients. Sometimes I get the social, no problem. Then when it comes to the banking info, that's where they give me problems. So when it comes to social, I run the numbers first right off the bat. So we find something that makes sense. And then we try to qualify them for the max amount. Then we talk numbers after I get them medically qualified. So when it comes to social, I say, all right, so look, I'm going to send you a text message. Are you on a phone that accepts text messages, Moises?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to send you over my state of Texas insurance license from the Department of Insurance. And that way you have my Texas license number, my national producer number, and I can walk you through how to look me up on the Texas Department of Insurance website if you would like me to. Just want to let you know that all of your personal health info and your personal info is safe with me and that you're working with a licensed professional. So we will have to do some verification of identity. Might have to use driver's license, I know for sure we're going to have to verify your social. So if you could go ahead with the social for me. But you ask, so when I'm wording the questions, I'm asking everything on the application on that page before the social. So social comes last. They've already given me all the information, even the driver's license, what state they were born in. And they say, all right, so this is just for purely verification purposes. Make sure that you are a real person. And this is also how they will pay out the death benefit when you pass. They have to have that death certificate with your social on it, and that is basically showing how they pay out. And sometimes it's unavoidable where people just will not give social over the phone. Doesn't matter how good rapport you build. I came across 2 already this week. Had great conversations with them. You know, we had a good conversation, good vibes. And then you get to the social and they're like, too many hackers out there. I'm not giving it to them. And I'm like, wait, it's just me and you on the phone, buddy. And you have my Texas license. And they're like, no, hackers are everywhere. They'll listen. So, I mean, sometimes they're just no getting over it.
Yeah, so talk about that. So with those clients, I mean, so I know you kill it with follow-up. So I guess other people want to know too, like, so are all your sales, like, or what would you say, like, the percentages of your sales are they mostly one call closes or a lot of them like follow-ups? I know you kill it on follow-ups.
50-50, honestly.
50-50. Damn, okay.
Mm-hmm. With the higher amounts, it's usually follow-ups. And with the higher intent leads, I keep detailed notes, man, like everything we talked about in that conversation. So that way, when I call them back a week or two later, I have every detail from the conversation we had, and I can bring that up. Oh, how'd your son's baseball game go, or your grandson's tennis camp or whatever. So I'm bringing up things that, you know, they only talked about with me. You know, they don't talk with strangers all the time, but they talked with me about this, and this. They remember who I am. They have my Texas license. I'll send it again. I'll walk you through how to, look me up on the Texas Department State of Insurance. So I do build rapport very well, and I do keep detailed notes on our meetings. So I would honestly say it's 50-50.
Damn. Yeah. So just so you guys get a perspective, guys, if you guys are doing telesales, it's a 50-50 game. I mean, that's huge. I mean, follow-up is like what I think most salespeople lack. So that's awesome that you're talking about that, because you crush it. And I know, you've constantly talked about the follow-up, like you follow up with a lot of people, dude, and you do a really good job. I mean, you're crushing it on following up with no ringy, dude. I'll tell you that much. I mean, because ringy, you can organize everything really well too, you know? So you're doing.
Dude, I need to get back on it, but every single time I went to go send mass text messages, it would flag it for carrier violation. So I'm gonna need a run through with you again. But I was kind of forced to do follow-ups in the beginning because, like I said, started from humble beginnings. $500 on my girl's credit card. First time I bought leads, and then ran it up that very same week. So it was follow-up for me. I had no other choice. So I just stuck with it, and it's panning out.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm glad you brought that up, dude. So you started with like no money. You had to borrow money.
Dude, I started broke as a joke. I started calling you, started calling Marcus every day before I bought $500 worth of, leads. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it, man. And then on my birthday, my girl gave me her credit card and bought $500 worth of leads, and then wrote 17 families helped the first week.
You were like, all right, I believe in this. So I'm glad you brought that up.
I still didn't even believe it till the first deposit hit. And I was like, oh my God, this is real.
And it's scary, right? And that's one of the things too, that I think we haven't really touched on. I mean, I guess with at least with our group, So talk about a little bit of how much you're spending now to put up all those numbers. I know you're kind of back and forth with how much you spend, but tell everybody what a 30, 40K, producer is spending a week.
So I've never gone back to 500. I can tell you that. And I do like to delegate my lead sources between, several different companies. So I'm spending anywhere from on a minimal 1,600 on a maximum. I've spent up to 3,200 in a week. Because I know that I'm going to make it back.
Dude, I'm glad you said that. You're going to make it back. As long as you call them, you put in the activity, you're going to make your money back.
Yeah, it's like, so I used to do honestly, I feel like it works better when I do it in increments. Like if I do, all right, I'm going to put 1,500 towards this, see what I can make happen. If I can't do a single thing with that 15, I'm throwing up another 15. And I'm like, all right, time to work double hard, because now I have to make double my money back. So
double down.
Yeah, you got to double down. You got to blackjack, baby. So,
so 1,600 to 3,200, guys. I hope you guys are writing that down. So if you guys want to produce at a high level, I mean, you're gonna have to pay to play. I know this $500 a week thing is like going to get you minimal results. And in the beginning, especially when you're new. And it just depends on like where you're at financially, but if you got a little extra money, you're going to spend more money in the beginning, guys, until you build that muscle, until you get a little bit better. then you can
Dante,
stick to 1,000 a month or whatever, or 1,000 a week.
Dante just asked a good question too. He said, how do you resolve the $1,600 to $3,200 worth of leads? So you do as much as you can that week, you invest the next week, you do as much as you can with those. And then once you have 2 or 3 weeks of spending $2,000 a week on leads, you can honestly take a few days out of the week and just dial. And that's where Ringy comes in. You put them into Ringy, you have 400 leads from the past couple of weeks that you didn't resolve. You can do Ringy, but I feel like Ringy sometimes gives clients too easy of a way to opt out. Therefore, if I call you 3 times from 3 different numbers in the same week, I'm going to get you on the phone. So
Gotcha.
How you resolve them is you just consistent effort. Sit down and put your head down and dial, or let Ringy do it for you and just do it.
Another thing too, I think Ariel asked here, bro. So what do you say? How do you respond when they say, I don't have time right now, or call me back? I mean, what is Mr. Tristan Bennett doing to overcome that, I guess, or book the appointment? Do you book appointments at all, or what do you do?
I do. So I'll try to, like the basic objections are so awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got you on the phone. It only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get you qualified. Are you telling me you don't have 10 to 15 minutes? No, I'm rushing out the door. I have a doctor's appointment. All right, awesome. What time does your doctor's appointment end? 4:30? Okay, so I'll give you a call about 5 p.m. Does that sound good with you, Cheryl? All right, awesome. And then I'm writing into my calendar and I am calling them, 4 times. And if they don't answer, I circle their name and I'm putting them the next day. Like I said, I'm old fashioned. I have like 4 notebooks within the vicinity that I just have constant notes, calendars. Like I'm old fashioned. When I write everything down, I have 100 sticky notes everywhere. So I should probably get a little more organized, but it's working so far. So,
dude, that's awesome. And let me just see if anybody else, if you guys have questions, there's a
for you real
questions
quick,
on here.
Tristan.
What's up, buddy?
So when you're high intent leads, when you are doing that follow up with them, so say that obviously you're calling them for different numbers, right? So say they answer one, you followed up, didn't go through. Are you calling them from a different number again, or are you consistently calling them from that same number? Like, hey, we're following up. And then how does your follow up go? How do you go into your follow up? Because I know I've been to a spot where it's been like, I needed banking, I needed your social. Like, how was your approach to being like, this is the kind of last information we need, instead of being there like, hey, look, we left off at the social, I need your social. Like, how are you easing your way kind of into that?
So I'll call them from all kinds of different numbers just to keep them on their toes, just to, if they ask questions about it, it's like, oh yeah, this is my office in Austin. Yeah, I was calling you from the Dallas office last time. So what we talked about last time was this. We had your numbers down. We had, we'd already gotten you medically qualified. We just needed your banking info, and then to select a draft date for when you wanted this to start. You mean, I don't want this to expire on you and us have to do this entire application over again. So if you want to go ahead and grab checkbook or something to verify, we can start it when you'd like, but we do need to get this in if you want your application to be effective. And that's where the good note taking comes in, because you're going to forget before they're going to forget, because you're talking to so many people a day, especially telesales. I can remember when I don't take good notes and I have somebody's name circled. It's like, I have no idea what we talked about, what amount, what anything. I have to go look at the lead, try to do some research and stuff. But that's where the note taking comes in. So while you're on the phone with them, talking to them, just jot down quick little notes on sticky notes and whatever else, and then keep them together. So when you do call them back, you remember what we talked about. You remember the number you talked to them about. You remember what else you needed from them, because I have gotten on the phone with people and be like, hey, we talked last week. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember what we talked about at all. And then you just kind of have to wing it. So I would say take good notes. And then when you get them back on the phone, just remind them emotionally why they were doing this. And also just who you are, that you're legit, that you have been working with them, and then try to resolve it right then and there.
Dude, that's huge.
Appreciate that. That was huge.
Did that answer your question?
It for sure did, because I got stuck in that spot where I'm like, I got him on the call with this, and then I go back to call him on this number, and it's like, okay, now he's kind of avoiding it. I got him a hold on this one, hey, and I just kind of want to figure out that good, like, approach to like, hey, let's get this done. But I guess you just kind of, like you said, be straightforward, let them know. Because I kind of just try to went through like, are we doing this presentation again? Where were you got? But thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And if they give you any backlash or they give you anything about different numbers and I talked to you on a different number last time. Tell them you switched offices. Tell them you have offices all around their state and that you're at this one for this week. And that you're just trying to get their file resolved and get their family protected.
Very nice. Thank you, bro.
So a lot of people were asking about the leads. You know, if you had $500, if you guys already don't know, guys, we have a vendor called Nectar. They're badass. I mean, they'll let you, spend $500 and they'll match you on your first lead purchase just to help you get going. And not only that, guys, so you're able to get 100 leads for $10, brand new leads, and then they'll let you return up to 30% of them, refund up to 30% of them back. So for the new agent that's out there that's on a tight budget, $500 is a great way to start with Nectar. And they give you everything, man. They give you height, weight, they give you, name, number, everything, and they're done in real time. They get deposited into your Nectar account, and then if you hook it up with your Ringy, you immediately goes into your Ringy, and they get immediately a text from you saying, "Hey, I'm the assigned advisor." Da, 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 da. Again, Ringy is like pretty awesome, especially for the new agent that has never really used CRM. It just helps you with organization, and Ringy puts them in a texting campaign where it's constantly texting and trying to get them to book up an appointment in your calendar. So I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty efficient stuff right there. Last thing, Tristan, and we'll let you go. I know it's getting kind of late. So when you get the banking, so you're at the end. I mean, what's the conversation you have with the client? Like, hey, all right, we're at the last part here. I mean, do you tell them they're pre-approved before you get the banking? Do you?
Yes. So I kind of build it up. It's like, all right, we've done all of this. We're now in our initial. So we got you approved for initial underwriting, and then right before we do the banking, it's like, all right, awesome, they gave you level coverage, or awesome, we got you approved for this amount, or you make them feel good right before you get banking. So emotionally charge it. It's like, all right, so good news, Moises, we got you approved for level coverage. We got you the amount that you wanted, and it's the original price that we had talked about. So FEX Quoter is going to tell you the exact price. If they're telling you the truth about their health, it's going to tell you the exact price before you even start the application. So you want to keep kind of reminding them and reminding them that you can also run numbers for them. So if you want, okay, if this was less than you were expecting, let's increase the coverage a little bit. If it was more than you're expecting, let's go down increments of 2,000 or so and see what makes the most sense so we can put some coverage in place. So once you're getting them approved, it's congratulations, awesome work. We did some underwriting, got you approved for level coverage. So now we just need to choose when you want it to start. Do you want it to correlate with the Social Security payment? Do you get paid on the 3rd or the 1st or 3rd Wednesday? And then they'll tell you and say, all right, awesome. So we'll put that for that next month, or you want it to start immediately. So I do try to get them to start immediately, but most of the time it's more likely that they'll want to kind of draft it out a few weeks or a week, or whenever their next Social Security payment is, because that's what makes the most sense. That's how you prevent chargebacks. So if you push for immediate coverage and you keep pushing for it, they might just tell you, never mind. If you tell them, let's correlate with your Social Security date, so you have money coming in, and if anything changes, you want it effective sooner, give me a call. And then you say, who do you bank with? Oh, Chase. All right, awesome. So you're in, a side window and you're looking up Chase routing number for Texas. So you're copying and pasting it, putting it in the application, saying, all right, awesome. So look, I put in Chase and it brought up a routing number for me. Do you have something to verify it with? Do you have a checkbook or a mobile app? Oh, you got your checkbook in front of you? Awesome. So the routing number that it gave me is this. And then they'll say, oh yeah, that's correct. Say, all right, awesome. You want to go ahead with the account for me? And then it kind of gives you some credibility because you've already got their routing number for their bank. And if they give you any pushbacks about giving you the account or the routing number, you want to tell them that this is actually safer, Moises, because I'm not asking for your card. I can't go and charge a checking account. You know what I mean? So they're doing what's called an EFT, electronic funds transfer, and only financial institutions can do this. So it's basically the insurance company communicating to your bank that on this date, this is what's going to be drafted out. They also do that for security reasons. And also if you lose your card, that's the first thing you're thinking about is not your life policy. That's we would not want that to lapse and then you to not have a policy anymore. and you not have your family protected just because of simply forgetting to update your information. So if you give them a little comfort by saying, look, this only financial institutions can do the checking and the routing. And I kind of had to figure that on my own because a lot of people did not want to give it to me and would rather give me the card.
Yeah. So you educated them on that. That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, how I like to phrase it, like whatever carrier you're working with, after you tell them you're being pre-approved, say, hey guys, so look, America works with all the banks. This is what they have here on file. Can you verify that for me? It's another little subtle way. So it's America. It's not just me coming up with this routing number out of nowhere, right? But I'm glad you touched on that, dude. That's awesome. So that's how you do it, pretty similar to what we're doing out here at the office too.
I think I learned that from y'all.
Yeah. Another thing too, just to close this out, so all right, so hey, congratulations, Bob and Mary. We got you set up for next month on the 3rd. Like what are I guess, do you follow up afterwards, or do you tell them right then and there that they're approved, and then you let them go on their own? I mean, how do you, I guess, seal the deal? So like to make them feel good, do you send them a copy of the application to their email? I mean, what do you do afterwards?
I always offer it. I said, all right, so I do have your email here as fflmoises@gmail.com. So what I can do is I can send you a copy of the application we filled out today. If not, your policy will come in the mail. I can also see if we can do an electronic delivery of the policy. But do remember that the policy will not become effective until the first draft date. So if it makes you feel more comfortable, I can send you the application through email that we filled out today. And then sometimes they're like, oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you. And then sometimes they're like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll get it in the mail. But yeah, you do want to tell them that they can reach out to you. You make them feel good. Congratulations. We got you approved. We got your family protected. I'm glad we could work something out for you and your family today. You did a good thing. So let's talk about next steps. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. This is the number you can reach out to me on. And if you're constantly changing a number, you have an app to change the number, give them your personal line and say, this is my personal line. If you ever need to reach out, yes, you're going to have clients call you at 10 p.m. to ask about something and stuff, just kind of separate work and home life. But giving them your personal line gives them some more, gives you more credibility, because if they can get a hold of you and you can answer their questions, you can fix their problems, you can just give them some security, your business will stick a lot better. So if you are in an app that changes numbers a lot, give them your personal line, tell them to send you a text if you ever need anything, save their name in your phone so you know who's calling. That's another big thing. I save every name, every number, and I save notes on my phone too. So when they call, I already know who they are, most likely what they're calling about, blah, blah, blah. So it does help to be very personable. Give them a line of communication for you always. So your personal line, or even an email. So look, I'm gonna send you an email from my personal email. That way you have, you always have a line of communication with me, and you congratulate them on the policy and tell them you'll send them the application, tell them you'll electronically deliver the policy, whatever makes them, feel good.
Cool. And do you have anything like following up with them at the end, or do you just kind of let them like, hey, you got the policy in the mail? If they have questions, do you have them call you, or do you follow up at all?
I leave it up to them. I don't really follow up with people because I've pretty much, done everything I needed to do on the call.
Yeah,
once we've got them covered. Yeah, I did my job. So, I mean, if you need something, reach out to me, but I'm a busy man. So I'm not going to, you can, I guess, for your annual review or semi-annual review, if you want to check up on them, I do that, but I haven't even been in the business 6 months. So I'm not quite on my semi-annual reviews, but like when the prime term came out with Prosperity, I was able to put a few people in a better position from AIG. So I did some follow-ups that way, but other than that, no, I give them ways to communicate with me, but I'm not necessarily following up with them after they already have their policy.
Cool. Dude, I don't know about you guys, but I found a lot of value with this call. If you guys found some value on this call, drop some fire emojis for Robert and Tristan. You guys.
Yo, can I get a quick question? I apologize.
Go ahead.
I didn't understand. Are you running only Nectar?
That's one of them, yeah.
And just diversifying the others between.
Yeah, the EverQuotes and everything too, right?
Dude, I really don't have a bread and butter. I used to have a bread and butter lead source, but it got oversaturated and then it wasn't worth anything anymore. So all I can say is diversify your lead portfolio, because I mentioned Nectar. Nectar's going to be slow for the next, couple days till people fall off. It's like you have to find something that works or 5 things that work. You can't just depend on one, because if you do, and then it gets out, it's like it's no longer your bread and butter anymore. So do some research. Nectar's a good one because you can always return. EverQuote, Enhance has an EverQuote contract that's money. So you won't find better value. I've thrown countless thousands of dollars at lead sources that just don't work. So do what you got to do to figure it out.
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome, man. Hey guys, well, hey, let's have a great second week of May. Hopefully a bunch of you guys, we peaked at like 74 people on this call. Let's hope we can keep most of y'all in here. I don't know where everybody goes.